budget is supposed to be passed, we're supposed to be following the law. That requires the fiscal year budget to be passed by September 30th. So regardless of politics, regardless of elections, we're supposed to have that passed by September 30th. Additionally, if there's any cuts to be made in any program, we need to be reviewing that in June of every year. That's our law. But since I've been hired, since I've been here, we've been working on continuing resolutions every year. So in order to address the root of the problem, why isn't this working? We really need to have those negotiations on settling this issue, because maybe we need to change to a calendar year, because the fiscal year isn't working out. We're having to do this first quarter temporary budget just to get us through elections and politics and the drawdowns that are coming in. So if it's not working, let's change it. But let's quit band-aiding it as we go. So, yeah, my original statement was correct, and that's the way it should be. But what's happening because of the reduction in Westmoreland, the executive is coming over and say, okay, 25% cut across the board, which we don't realize what we're doing to those original legislations that we passed. And it's not being specifically referenced in the bill. So we need to do it by process that's reflective of the law. We can't just keep making law as we go and saying this is okay when we forget our original principles of those laws we passed throughout the years. So I also want to make the note here that today's budget, executive did mention that because it's only the first quarter, pro-fair budget is not being addressed at this time, but would be later addressed in the full budget. Well, 25% reduction now on the list that was provided. So my question is there any existing laws in the existing budget that's going to be reduced, but it's not reflective of changing those specific laws? For example, let's say if we have the election administrative budget, let's say it was being reduced, but say in the election ordinance it says they shall have this much money. So, you know, I think it's not transparent enough, and I think it's just because we always operate on the chaos mode. We're more reactive than we are proactive. So, and I guess that's just my 2 cents. We need to get this completed so we can have a fiscal management act that actually works. So, thank you, Chairman.
Duke, or go ahead, Clint.
I want to clarify the 25%. The 25% statement is across the board is for the branches. That doesn't have to do with regards to the actual departments and executive. And if you go through the handout, the budget by department is included in your handout. You can see by line item per department how much each department or branch is going to get in these handouts. I'm not really sure how. I mean, the only way to be more transparent is if I gave you like a list of employees that are going to work there, but I wouldn't know that information because that would be future information. But right now you can't see the breakdown by employees. Crow Fair isn't in here, so it wasn't cut by 25% because Crow Fair doesn't happen in October, November, December. So it would be included in the budget going forward. And it wouldn't be cut. I think some confusions happened because of those scenarios we brought over here. Just to make that clear, those were just scenarios. We were asked to bring different scenarios on just to show the reflections. If this reduction didn't affect per cap. So those 3 were just scenarios. They don't really have anything to do with the actual budget that will be passed. I think people are getting confused on that. This budget right now does not affect any of the committees or any of the senior benefit payments or per capita. This just allows the tribe to operate through the elections and through the first 3 quarters of the year, and then basically figure it out from then. That first 3 months, yeah.
So can you state for the record again to the committee that Pro Fair is not going to get cut?
No, Pro Fair won't get cut. Pro Fair won't get cut. I believe there's even a senior benefits law, but I think it's only $100 in that law. I think it's really old. So that would be the minimum that if it did actually happen, they would be able to get cut down to would be $100. I know there's a Terrell law that $250,000 has to go to Terrell. That'll be included in the full year budget. This is just for 3 months to let the tribe figure out what's going to happen and how much revenue is actually going to come into the tribe.
Yeah.
Yeah,
25, it'll kick in. It's already pretty much kicking in. It'll kick in when the reduction happens too. So the reduction, it goes into effect October 1st. So it's going to affect the severance tax payment pretty significantly.
three things. First of all, you're correct. This is just a 3-month budget for everybody's 3 months, pretty much, to December 31st. But we got to have the 9-month budget in for the full 2017 budget today. So we got to have that passed before December 31st. And we did that before in 2012. I believe 2012, I was the finance chairman at that time, and we didn't have a reduction in polls, so I believe we had like a $26 million budget at that time. And so, if I'm just going by memory, but I remember it was about 6.5 million for the executive branch, and the breakdown legislature was a little more, and I can't remember. How many say these three branches at that time in 2012. And so that's just, I think it would have been nice to just kind of have a comparable 2012 to now, so everybody would see that. Some of you guys who are not here. So I always like to go back to the past and just bring you up to speed on what we did as a branch. And so the 9-month budget will be forthcoming. And it's good. You got a lot of good questions, and they need to be answered. And I believe previously a lot of the other senators that were in here asked those same questions at those times. And another thing too, according to CLB 0227 that Legal Dawn just mentioned in there, about down the Crow Fair, they're supposed to make those reports, and not one of them made it except for last year. General Manager Sun, they promised us they would bring all the expenditures, which they did, and we have about 4 binders for them. They gave it to us, and copies were made and given to the executive branch. And then I went through them, and they had all the receipts of how much money was accounted for, the expenditures. And we have them here. If you want to take a look at them, I believe we have them in the legal office or someplace here. And so that 50,000 that was given to the powwow, okay, in the end, 158,000 good deal. And a lot of it went to the powwow. Vendors, but they were counted for, and that's what, they promised us. They did. The raising commissioner never came in. He promised to do that, and they didn't come in. But according to law, they're supposed to come in and make those reports and deal with it. This year, there was no reports again. Because usually we should be handing out CLB 0227, the addendum. This is your law, this is what you got to follow. And they're supposed to make those reports, how much money was made. But it takes a lot of accounting. Actually, Noel was the one that came in to make those reports. and that it was actually 157,000 could give for last year's powwow. They were short $1,000, so Noel went and got his personal credit card and got 1,000 to meet that 158,000. And when I got you, that's the only accountability that we ever had. And why do we want to use that? Why do we want to keep those records in here? So that when it comes to this kind of legislation on the budget, we have something, a backup ball. It's nothing but hearsay, you know. And this year they said that the executive branch, they got all the vendors. That I don't know. So that's hearsay, okay? Unless I see that. So I don't know. But you, Cole, hearsay, Cole. Okay, oh.
All right, Sean.
Thank you. President 1, 2, 3. Thank you, Chairman. We need to get back on task, and what we're trying to do is clarify the Grove Fair Board budget, clarify for them that we can talk administration, we can talk HP and all these different things, but what we're trying to do is clarify their funding. And when we
did.
We
did already. CLBO 5227. We already did.
Hey, on record can show it, yeah.
Thank you, State Legislature, okay, with that budget, 25% then you will give you could eat much, even with the resolution.
Hello?
To an action resolution. I don't think the opinion is I don't think that they can touch it each. They go. And those are two different opinions. One is clarified by legal, and one's clarified by the finance department. And so what we need to do is secure that additional 25%. And if the Grove Fair Board would like to move forward to increase their budget, it's been done in the past. Destiny, being a trade manager, has increased the budget, even without a resolution within our authority here at the legislature. And we can do it for the general manager, we can do it for the rodeo. So there's ways that have been established, precedents have been established within the legislature that have been moved through this process before. And I'd just like to express that way. And every time we can educate ourselves and we have to watch out and make sure that we secure your funding.
And then now will come December 15th, when we talk about the budget for the next 9 months. That's when you guys come in and then voice your concerns, your opinions to your representatives, and make sure that it gets in the budget, during that 9 month, and use that law, that bill. Go ahead, Frank.
Yeah, for the visiting guests, I got the jar 0603, which has the numbers and the minimums, the Grove Fair budget for, I got copies for them, and CLB 0227 for the reporting and everything like that, and make some clarifications on some of the stuff we, like, I've helped my brother do the rodeo manager stuff and all that, and we did provide the binders to the executive, and I'm pretty sure the process is if they don't provide their binders, they don't get the 1099 written off, and then it goes into their taxes, and they're actually accountable for $50,000 or whatever else they got from the executive, so that end of the year accountability is what they get, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be hard for some people to write off an extra $50,000 into their income, and then where it goes into federal, where the IRS asks, where did this come from and what did you do with it? So there is that accountability, and there's things that go through with it, but that's the process for that. So for our guests, I got these jars and these CLBs for them to follow through.
All right, thanks, Frank.
Yep.
Hold let's choose you guys here Wednesday. Chihuahua. Go ahead, Paul.
And, thank you, Chair. I guess, Don, if you can clear it up, executive saying that they're not gonna cut it across the board, but you say they're gonna cut it across the board, so, who's, who we follow?
I would like, Clint to clarify that, because he's saying just the branches, but, I wanna know what the expenditures are, what's being cut in executive, I guess, because the question is it the departments, and what are they getting cut? So, if you can clarify that.
Yeah, it is just the branches are 25% each. In here you can see each department and what the budget is for each department. Like a good example is the tribe debt payments. I wish we could cut them by 25%, but we can't. So in order to make up for not being able to cut those debt payments, we're going to have to cut somewhere else. And just for example, if we did increase Grow Fair's budget, there's also that opposite effect of what are we going to cut out of the budget to increase those funds. Anytime you increase anything in the budget, you got to cut something somewhere else in order to have a balanced budget. So a lot of these, if you go through these before Wednesday, you can see each department and what the projected budgets are on each of the departments.
Like they'll create their own budget, and I'll get even more when Rachel done the legislature. The reduction of that 25%. She done ours, so maybe we can talk about it during committee sometime. But
Yeah, for legislature, I didn't have a budget in courts and judicial, so I just cut last year's budgets by 25% for each of the expense items for right now.
Go ahead and take the, what you want to call it,
28, Chairman.
28, go, no, same time, go, no,
How we got?
same time, go in the finance committee meeting, 28. Charge, you go to break and then do.
27th. 27th. One more. We. 27th.
I can
make it.
You got it, you got it.
Hopefully, got. Hope.
Biden, I got a dental appointment and I can't get out of it. Week, ¿Quieres bala, pe? ¿Quieres bulchik? Papo, a minute, to make.
26 Monday.
Can't be there.
How's your guys' schedule look next week? You good? It's 29th, special session, there you go. 29th.
28, go place, debate.
28th, debate board.
27th to stop. 28, come back. Okay.
How about it?
Forum, other side.
27th, short up, Tuesday, 27th.
Motion. Wait, you know, I gotta make it correct. 27th is my, 27th is my dental appointment, instead of 28th.
Rush short of the 27th,
It doesn't conflict with that forum or?
28th, go.
27.
Rush short of committee, 27th.
10 a.m.
10 a.m. or 1 o'clock? 10? Okay.
This is true.
All right, then we'll reconvene on the 27th at 10 o'clock. Oh.
Make a motion to recess. It's like $5 for this. They'll give you a discount.
There's no motion to recess.
Remember the volleyball Olympics?
So,
People want to have it. We'll check them there.